Old used cars such as these are brilliant for knocking around in on the cheap. The only problem is that lots of other people have already knocked around in them before you, which means that they're filled with their residue. And I'm not just talking about old McDonald's wrappers, I'm talking about things that are far more horrific. So with these 3 cars, I'm going to be performing various scientific tests on them to look for things such as human feces, bodily fluids, and narcotics. I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching Car. Buy, sell,
car wow.
Let's start this video by actually emptying out all the rubbish that has come with these cars. I'm going to start off with this S-Class and then we'll get into the sciencey bit. So, let's have a look in here. It's actually not too bad, just needs a hoover actually. Take out the boot. I'm going to form 2 piles, things that you'd expect to find in a car and things that are nothing to do with the car. So there's some crap in this boot, including some weird ties. What has the previous owner been doing with this? Hopefully not strapping people up. Anyway, that's not normal car stuff. These look like bits that are broken off the car. And then we've got the towing eye. Yeah. Okay, so that's done. So actually quite clean in terms of the amount of rubbish in it. Just these bits here. Obviously someone's given up something for Lent. I think it was hoovering the inside of their car because it's still quite dirty in there. And then these bits are related to the car, such as the MOT certificate, the manual, the keys and the towing eye. So not too bad for the Mercedes. Let's try the next car. It's because it's got an LPG tank. The spare isn't in the usual place. This seems a little bit cleaner than the Mercedes. Tissues. Okay, so this one is not too bad really. Only interesting find, these glasses. Probably shouldn't put them on my face, otherwise I'm going to end up with pink eye. But the rest of this is all to do with the car. Just needs a good valet really. Final car then, BMW. A little bit of brown coinage. Vauxhall. Right, I think that's done. So I think the BMW is the dirtiest. Look at all this rubbish that's left in it, including a dummy there, which I think I might take back for my daughter. She'll love that. Anyway, let's get on with the science. Now comes the fun bit, or should that be the disgusting bit? So what I'm going to do is use a bunch of these bacterial swab tests, and I'm going to pick 10 locations in each car which are where you're most likely to touch them, and I'm going to swab each location with one of these, and we'll send them off to the lab and see what kind of bacteria we can grow out. I'm also going to use a bunch of these drug test kits as well. Once again, I'm going to wipe them throughout the car and see what kind of drugs we can find, if any. So these things will actually test for stuff such as like cannabis, cocaine, heroin, crystal meth, all that kind of stuff, you know, uppers, downers and chilling out a bit stuff. Anyway, let's get on with it. Starting off with the Lexus's steering wheel. So here we go, you know, good rub. Okay, so I've been through all the cars now, and with the drug test, they all came back negative apart from this one here. Look, this has a single line, which unlike with the COVID test, a single line means positive, and it's for a drug called Buprenorphine, which is an opioid. Now, it's sometimes used as a painkiller on prescription or to treat heroin addiction, once again on prescription. Though it is also abused. Don't know exactly how it's been used in this case, but it was found when I swabbed the dash and this area here on the Mercedes. Now I've got to do one more swab in here because I haven't done it yet. So the last place to swab here in the Mercedes is the gear lever. So I'll just pop that into here, and I'm going to send this and the rest of the swabs that I've done throughout the other cars and on this car off to the lab, and then I'm going to have to wait a couple of weeks for the results. Here we have it then, the bacterial report back from the lab, and it makes pretty grim reading. Now I'll tell you exactly what we found in each of these cars in a moment, but first I actually want to go through each of them with this UV light because it'll actually show up bodily fluids. So you're going to take each car into this shed, shut the doors, turn off the lights, and see what horrors we may find. So let's first check out the back seats of the LS. So I can see some nasty splatter there. Some odd transfer here, so I don't think that's bodily fluids. Then if you look in that rear footwell, you can see some droplets of, I don't know, jizz. Hopefully not, but maybe jizz, probably jizz actually. Let's inspect the fridge. Oh, there's big clumps of white stuff in there. Maybe it's spilt milk, who knows? I hope it is, I hope that's all it is. Now you'll notice lots of speckling, but I also have it on my jumper as well. That's just fluff, honestly. It's the big clumps that you need to look out for. Oh, have a look, there's another transfer there. Ah, I know what that thing is. It's the tyre, isn't it? Someone must have carried that spare tyre in the back of this car. Let's check out the front passenger seat. Oh, look, there seems to be some kind of like drippage on the transmission tunnel. Not nice. Finally, let's check out the driver's side and the steering wheel, which seems to just be smeared with stuff. Oh no, the infotainment system, look at that. That's not nice. Oh my gosh. Ugh. That steering wheel looked disgusting under UV light, and the report back from the lab is even more shocking. So when they grew out a petri dish from the swab from the steering wheel, they actually found there was more bacteria on that steering wheel than the average toilet seat. Speaking of toilet seats, the lab actually identified that there's E. coli on that steering wheel. Now, E. coli is a bacteria that's found in your gut, which means that someone who was driving that at some point had pooey fingers. In fact, the steering wheel in this car was the most bacteria-heavy part of any car we tested. However, it's not necessarily the most lethal. One specific test the lab does is to look for a bacteria family called Streptococcus. Now, Streptococcus is pretty nasty. It can cause things such as meningitis, pneumonia, and some weird flesh-eating disease. In fact, one type of strep alone kills over 500,000 people in the world each year. And Streptococcus bacteria come from your saliva and from your lungs. So, you know, if you spit, you can transmit it that way. It's not nice at all. So the lab actually found that there was so much Streptococcus in the back of this Mercedes S-Class that it overwhelmed the petri dish. They couldn't count how many there were. There was just too much of it. And let's turn off the lights now to see why that may be. And if you look here, you can see horrible spatter marks, probably spit, and on the seat, hopefully it's only spit, and that's probably why you've got so much strep in the back of this Mercedes. Gross. Finally, let's check out the BMW. Remember, this was the one that had the most trash in it, so let's see what it's like under UV light. Let's have the lights off. Oh, look down here, we've got some horrible splodges, though I think that might just be some kind of spillage from the cup holders. Cup holders are pretty grim. Let's have a look at these seat controls here. Oh, there's just clumps of nastiness on the seat controllers. Now there's a reason for that. Let's have the lights back on. You see, the lab report found, once again, like in the Mercedes, so much Streptococcus on this area of the car here that it overwhelmed the petri dish. Absolutely vile. However, overall, there was less bacteria found in the BMW than the other two cars, though it was still pretty filthy. Well, that was all pretty horrible, wasn't it? It's probably put you off buying an old used car such as this. So you're better off getting a brand new car. And to do that, you should check out CarWow. So click on the pop-out banner up there or follow the link in the description below to see all the latest offers through CarWow. Alternatively, you can do that at a later date by Googling "Wow Me CarWow" and we will wow you. I'll tell you what wowed me was the fact that while this Lexus seemed the cleanest to the naked eye, actually, it turned out to be the most filthy with the highest bug count, and that pooey steering wheel. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know what you think of buying a used car now after seeing this in the comments below. Click on those windows there to watch some more videos, and on that box there to go to CarWow to see how much you can save on a new car.